Ho, ho, ho.
Little flower in Chicago. She paints pictures on a metal.
Welcome back, everybody, to Futbol on Full Heel. I am Frankie. I'm here with Johnny and Andres.
Yo.
Once again, the boys, the lads, holding it down here at the Full Heel studio with Donkeytron on the boards back here.
Oh yeah, brother.
Busy week of football, of footy, of football that just passed. Since we last spoke, or since we last went on, 2 matches were played by each team in the Premier League. That's a lot. The congestion is ridiculous. Now, these guys are athletes, right? And they get paid millions to do what they do, but we've had top-notch, top-tier managers come out and complain about this. At some point, something has to be done, right? Like, man, the World Cup this year, right? The World Cup is this year? No. 2022, right?
Yeah, you're tweaking
I'm
out,
acting
bro.
out, yeah. Well, hey, for 2022, it's going to be in the winter, right? So they're going to have to halt play. I think that might be a good
Qatar.
indicator, right? For like all the other teams
Yep.
or teams who don't send too many players to the World Cup, right? Let's see that how that rest does or how that interferes with all the other seasons, right? But Pep has come out and said it. Notably, Klopp has said it several times, right? That something has to be done. Would you guys agree?
Well, if I'm not mistaken, because they haven't taken a break since even before the New Year's, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, all the other teams, like Bundesliga barely started back last week, and they're still playing, right? The English league still hasn't taken a break. They're barely going to take a break. Like a random early spring break. While other teams took a winter break or what?
You know, I don't know if they do take a break, honestly.
The 1 week that all the teams have that we were talking about, how there's no games in the Premier League in like 2 weeks.
I think that's just this week because of the FA Cup.
They're still playing every 3 to 4, every 3.
Yeah, a
games.
lot. It's ridiculous. We see like this injuries, right, start to pile up for some clubs, right?
Most clubs.
Most clubs. It leads to a lot of panic buys and a lot of transfers in this window, right? But yeah, I mean, in the long run, you just don't want to see a lot of injuries. So, I mean, hopefully they'll consider it because, yeah, like Johnny said, the Bundesliga takes a break. Spain takes a break, even though now they do that weird new iteration of the Supercopa, right, during that break or whatever. But
the point is, in England, they haven't taken a break, and instead of resting, they're playing more instead.
they play through Christmas. They play on Boxing Day, right? That's when the festive period starts.
Yeah.
There's a weekend before Christmas, and they play Boxing Day. Then the weekend after, then like the day New Year's Day or the day after New Year's Day, and they haven't stopped. And the breaks there are is for cup competitions, so that's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. What's up with that?
Well, the fact that it's crazy and that there's that many matches that we were just talking about makes what Liverpool's doing all the more impressive. They are now 40 matches unbeaten in the Premier League. That's over a year. That's 9 short, if I'm not mistaken, from the Invincibles, right? From Arsenal.
8 short, I think.
9.
It was it 48?
49.
49?
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, Liverpool in that span, in the 2 matches since we last went on, they beat United 2-0 at Anfield, right? Just outclassed United and really should have scored more goals than they did. And then just yesterday, they edged out Wolves in what was just a thrilling match, 2-1 with Bobby Firmino coming up clutch and scoring in, what was it, like the 88th, right? 85th,
84th.
late in the match to settle things.
84th.
And that's right. When it looked like Liverpool were going to drop points for just the second time this season, it didn't happen. They won. It's over. We've been saying it's over. But big victory here afterwards. Andres said, "This is finally the match, right, Andres? This is the
Yeah,
match for you."
Well, they played 3 really hard opponents, tricky ones in the Premier League. So they came out with 3 big wins, and I don't think anyone else is gonna challenge them besides City. But I mean, at that point, they could clinch it at City if everyone wins out. If it comes down to that game.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no, the
they-
gap is crazy. As it stands, they're 16 points ahead of Man City in second place, and they have a game at hand. So
Incredible.
it could be 19 points.
Yeah.
Yeah, assuming City doesn't lose. Otherwise, it's a lot quicker.
Absolutely incredible considering the run of matches that they had. It's already brutal in England, and then Liverpool went to the Club World Cup in December too and won that competition, right? Which is an extra 2 matches, right?
Mhm.
But still, to travel to, where was it? In the Middle East, right? Or was it-
Qatar?
Yeah,
Wasn't it?
right.
Qatar, yeah.
Yeah.
So ridiculous. 40 matches unbeaten. Firmino scores. Henderson scores. They're getting contributions from everywhere across the field, though. I will say the match against Wolves, I think, from what I've seen, and I've seen many of Liverpool's matches this season, that was the toughest match for them, honestly, I think. Wolves gave them a hell of a match.
Yeah.
And if anything, I might agree, and I agree with Andres, who's said on a couple occasions, shows kind of maybe a blueprint for some of the bigger teams to copy to try to take down Liverpool, right? They push up, they press high, and they leave a lot of space behind the fullbacks, right, who rampage forward. And the speed of Adama Traore was just torching Liverpool all match. Especially Andy Robertson. Andy Robertson did not have a good match against Traore on that side. And really, the Wolves definitely should have tied it at the end. Jota,
Yeah.
right? Jota should have scored it.
They deserved a tie, but
It was a great match. And again, you guys agree that this could be a way for some of the other clubs to come at Liverpool now?
I mean, if you can dribble past Robertson or the fullbacks, then yeah, you leave a lot of big ass space right behind them.
Not everybody has a Traore, right?
Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of elite teams that have good number like 7s.
Good wingers.
Yeah, good wingers, and maybe that could be a little more tricky for them. I
Again-
mean, I saw that kind of when they played Barcelona. You saw what happened. Just a really skillful player could just kind of weave their way through all the defenses.
You're reaching for me. But from the game, I took that we're going to win the league after how they... That was the game before this one, right? Or before they played Wolves, they played Man U.
Yep.
And what was also just a nail on the coffin in that match, like City had tied that game, I believe. You get me? Teams are just dropping points, and
Yep.
Liverpool just sucking all of it up and getting more energy off of every single point. There's a big ass gap at the top. It looks like crazy, right? It's like teams are closer to the bottom of the table than to Liverpool.
Yeah, the gap between first and fifth right now, which is Liverpool and Man United, is 30 points.
Yeah.
30 points. Nobody's catching them. Nobody.
Yeah.
But like Johnny alluded to, while Liverpool is just doing what they do, going over all the hurdles while they had injuries, now they're getting players back. Fabinho's been back now for 2 matches, right? Coming on as a sub. So they're going from strength to strength, and really it's impressive.
I mean, they lost Mane to a possible.
Oh, yeah, we don't know about that. That's a good, thank you for pointing that out.
How do you think they're going to cope?
Well, Mane did leave, and
That's at least 3 games.
a friend of the
I'd say.
show, my boy Jamie, did point out that Liverpool did play a little bit different after Mane. They played kind of not scared, but like shocked, right? Like they didn't know how to react.
I think it was to account for Traore, kind of.
And then Minamino, that led to Minamino coming on, right? But I mean, Minamino's adjusting to the league. Can we really expect him to come in and step in for Mane?
Yeah, you
But
can't.
then there's other players, right? There's Shaqiri. Origi, although I'm not the biggest Origi fan, has come in and scored some clutch goals, right? He could come in and do a job, right? They could play the Ox there, no?
Yeah, I mean, isn't it be interesting
It
how
depends.
they adjust? Whether they start playing like different formation, or they just swap in like Origi or something. Lallana maybe.
They have options, and when Fabinho went down and they kept going, like I honestly, I think they can weather any storm, right? And like we were talking about before we went on, they can put the league away very, very soon, right? Maybe 9 more wins, you said, is all they need?
Yeah.
But I was reading, something like that. Or as soon as March, when they play Everton, at Everton, they could have the league wrapped up.
They need 15 points.
They can lose 6 times or something.
Yeah.
I think
And still win.
I think it's 5 times.
No, I think it's like
6? Well, regardless. They have
19 if they... With the game at hand?
They have a game at hand. They might just, use the league to rest and rotate and make another push for Europe. So
I think they definitely will.
watch
Klopp
out.
will be like, we're going to play... Like, we're going to rest Mane and Salah if they got to really play the next day. In a Champions League fixture, against a tough team. The invincible stuff, like, that doesn't matter. It'll come if it comes. Like, you're not really searching for it unless
It's the
you
league.
start making it a thing. Which, of course, the media does right away. They can't let them wait till the end of the season and let them do their thing, right? Instead, they got to point out that every game they're undefeated and that if they're going to match
It's impressive,
such
though.
and such. So,
They should go for it, though.
But, I mean,
nah.
the league, it's been 30 years since they won the English league title, and it's big to Liverpool fans and to the people of
They would
Liverpool.
go down as invincibles. That's a symbol.
Nah, yeah, it's not the way to think of it, I think.
I'm
But
saying, if
yeah.
you're close to it, might as well go for it.
No, because if you need to play players for the other stuff, you're not going to be like, damn, I got to play after another game. You don't look ahead of your own game to be like, damn, rather be invincible.
But, I mean, I think you're both right. I think if, like Andres says, you go for it. And with Liverpool, I think you can go for it. And you can obviously do it by rotating. They've had people out.
I think Liverpool looked tired in the Wolves game. Like, Trent and Robertson have not gotten rest. And that kind of showed the fatigue settled for Liverpool. They still won, though. That's why they're incredible. But, I mean, we all said, how you said, we knew this would probably be their toughest game. One of their last toughest games in the season, to be honest. That was a crazy enviurement.
Well, they still play
And
City
they
at
still-
City, right?
But the league will be wrapped
Yeah.
up by then. Like, even if they lose to City, they're like, okay, we're still gonna win the league in 2 games, 1 game. Presumably, right? But
Yeah.
now it looks like Liverpool is not gonna drop points to like some other random team.
Yeah, if they stay healthy, yeah. But if they start dropping bodies,
Why would you
Maybe.
say that?
I'm
Who
just
says
saying.
that? So City now can start dropping
No, I'm just saying
players
with
and
fatigue,
not be
with
good.
fatigue settling in, maybe they run out of ideas. Maybe
They've played the same number of games as any other teams,
I
and
think
we're not
Without
saying that
rest,
for any
or
other
without
team.
rest.
Well, I think it's just the
Nah.
team. Look, Klopp has been there long enough now, and the players have all know the system well enough where, like, it's just and I don't want to say they're like a dynasty or anything yet, right? But like the Patriots, man, the next player up, they just know what Klopp wants. They know how to execute it, and it really doesn't matter. Obviously, they're not going to be as much of a goal scoring threat, right? If somebody like a Mane or a Salah is out, right? But I mean, they're still getting goals. Henderson just scored in this last match. Van Dijk's been scoring from set pieces. They're coming in all over the field. So I mean, I really don't see them slowing down, right? But speaking of slowing down, everyone else is slowing down at least a little bit.
Yeah, we haven't talked about anybody, but I think those were 2 more defining moments. How we're seeing history just with this Liverpool team. It's just kind of crazy because that stat is ridiculous. The other one that you bring up, the 94
It's now
points of 96,
yeah,
something like that.
94 out of 96 possible points in the last.
That is not even
40
real.
matches.
That's not even real, like, right?
Yeah,
But I guess
insane.
the other teams have done it. The Chelsea team of Mourinho when he first came in, right?
Yep.
That team only gave up 15 goals the whole season.
And Pep's 100-point team.
Nobody's talking about Pep.
Well, actually,
for this invincible. No
gonna-
one's talking about Pep
well,
for this invincible
we're
time,
gonna
bro.
talk about Pep now because
Wait,
in the same period of time, City tied at Crystal Palace, 2-2, and then they beat Sheffield United.
barely beat Sheffield.
Honestly, man, and I'm not even just saying this to like argue with you, Andres, or to like start shit.
No, go ahead.
But
Yeah, so-
man, I just can't understand, and this is why I pose you guys this question. I understand Laporte is a huge injury. I understand Sane is a big injury, but with all the money spent, and forget about the money, I would just argue the talent is there, right? Maybe at center back. Obviously, I wouldn't want Otamendi playing center back, right? Is that really what it's up down to for City? Is just these injuries are that bad? Because they have such a good manager, they have such good players, they have such a good system too. We're talking about a team that's just won the league 2 years in a row, one where they shattered every record in the book. Like they should be, okay, no, they should be much better than 16 points off of first place, possibly 19. What's going on?
Well, they just lost a lot of points to their defense. I mean, they didn't make up for the loss of Company, and then they didn't reinforce. They got a huge loss in the beginning of the like literally in the beginning of the season. They lost their best defender. It's like, wow, how are they gonna cope? They didn't really prepare for this. So, and then Liverpool just didn't lose. So it's not that bad. They're still good. Like it's still a good second place team.
You literally didn't say anything. Besides that they lost the play. Like you didn't say anything.
Well, he did kind of say that's an interesting point. So City's worst run probably in the last 2 years has come at Liverpool's best run in the same amount of time, right? Yeah. While City's been patchy and or I guess below their usual standards, Liverpool has reached another standard, right? Or a standard that they were in.
But that standard that they achieved was thanks to City raising the bar so high that you got to make 100 points to win the league, for God's sake. And now Liverpool's up and these guys are trying to keep up and they're like, fuck, we set this bar high.
So what is it? Does Pep just have to work on more defending? Defending, I guess the concept of team defending, if you don't have your best center backs, right? Or if you're playing two.
Yeah, they had to play Fernandinho, who was, beaten by really fast strikers all season. Vardy was the only reason he scored on them. He just long ball over, Fernandinho can't keep up. So, they just didn't reinforce that spot. And they had to move players out of position.
No. City just... They didn't play well enough to make up for the absence of that player, knowing that they're going to get Laporte back or something. Nobody really stepped up, and they were like, I don't know. And then, players have dropped off significantly. David Silva has not. I can't remember an assist he's made this season or a goal.
True. Another one who's been kind of hurt, though, too.
Who else has been up?
Jesus has been up and down.
It's been, I don't know, it's been semi-inconsistent.
Mahrez has had a good season.
No, but in the mid. Fernandinho has not had a good season.
Agüero is always Agüero, right? He
scores all the time, yeah. But
you're right, it's the mid. Other than Kevin De Bruyne, right? What's going on with that mid?
Isn't it your boy? Is Silva, the Bernardo is a striker forward? City has too many offensive pieces. I don't know.
They just had a really bad start. I'm pretty sure now that they're getting healthy, they're gonna heat up a little bit. At least they should for the final stretch.
They're not. They just tied. They're not even like we thought that last time.
They just got Laporte back.
Nah, man.
Well, that's part of it too, right? Maybe that's just the standard we have, right? Liverpool is just doing things at such a high level right now that maybe City isn't playing as terrible, right?
If City can at least stay in form for a crucial part of the season, that's all that matters for them.
Well, it's all Champions League again.
Might work against Liverpool because they're trying to win every game now.
Laporta's back in training, no?
He played his first game last game, and the team was responding well. They're like, yeah, we got a clean sheet, If he can stay healthy, then we'll put something together.
Maybe City doesn't fade. Probably they're pushing for the Champions League, but
I think they clearly have given up on the league. Unless they're gonna take their games, but they're playing. Are they playing with more pressure or less pressure now that they know they don't gotta in the league? They're just kind of doing whatever now.
Yeah, they just have to try to get everyone.
But now the pressure's on them to try to win the champs, and they're gonna play Madrid. And every day, City keeps looking less convincing, and Madrid keeps looking more of a difficult matchup for them.
Quick little shout out to we got 2 viewers watching us right now on the live stream, so thank you guys for tuning in. I forgot to at the beginning shout out everybody who's ever watched any one of our shows, podcasts, whatever you want to call it, streams, who's shared it, who's liked it, who's commented, who's reacted. We have a couple of friends of the show. I want to shout out our boy Ivan, aka Nero, for suggesting the keeping tab of our picks, which we did starting last week, and we'll keep you updated on that a little bit later. Shout out to my boy Fern, who pointed out some oddities in soccer, which we'll talk about in the transfer market, some weird transfers or some temporary transfers, stuff like that. Yeah, everybody. Toucan watches these two, who's got feedback. Thanks. Share it if you can. Share it if you guys like it. Even if you don't, shit, let us know. But yeah, moving on in the Premier League. Under City, we have Leicester. And Leicester is definitely starting to fade, right? We're talking about Vardy, right? Vardy left the last match injured. And before that, I would say crucially, the turning point in Leicester City has been Wilfred and Ndidi. Their do-everything midfielder went down with an injury. And since he's been out, they haven't looked as convincing. Just this weekend, they lost to Burnley. And then they rebounded and beat West Ham. But yeah, Leicester's kind of regressing back to the mean, right? Coming back down to earth to where you would expect them. Still a really good season from them. Still a decent, interesting team there. But you guys really think they're going to stay maybe third, fourth?
I think so.
Yeah. Nobody.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think maybe lowest they drop is.
I think they have a 10-point gap or lead on Chelsea, and they don't have to play Europa or Champions League.
8 points on Chelsea.
8. They don't have to play Europa or Champions like these other teams that are going to be vying for the same spot. Man U Europa, Wolves Europa, Tottenham champions, Chelsea champions. Or unless Chelsea bounces out quick, I mean, and then they're still up for fourth. So no, I think Leicester will stay top four.
Yeah, shout out to Brendan Rodgers and Leicester there. They got some nice little players.
Or you don't think so? You think they'll drop off to fourth?
I could see them finishing fourth just because nobody else really looks like they want to finish in the top four, right? So I can totally see them finishing third or fourth. The other team I have finishing in the top four, Chelsea, right? Chelsea is starting to look really, really patchy. Don't get me wrong. Just like I shouted out Brendan Rodgers, I'll shout out Frank Lampard because he's done a stellar job with what he's had to work with, right? Kids, the transfer ban at first, and by kids I mean like young players, right?
Yeah.
And he still's got them in fourth place, right? Barely. But yeah, Chelsea over the last couple matches again has had some problems. More recently, they lost to Newcastle, which was stunning, right? They lost to Newcastle in the last minute. I mean, not really stunning. They played pretty well, and Newcastle scored like in stoppage time,
some crazy
right?
way.
And then they tied to Arsenal, but man, that tie it's got to feel like a loss, right? Because one, Arsenal is a shambles right now. It's a mess, right? Also, they were up a whole man. Arsenal got
early 25th.
David Luiz got a David Luiz type red card, right? After Mustafi played a Mustafi like bad back pass, and Arsenal played with a man down and still managed to fight back and draw the match 2-2. We'll talk about Arsenal in a little bit, but what do you guys see with Chelsea? Is this where they max out too? Is this what they can do with the players at hand that they have?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they gotta wait till they reinforce. I don't know what they have up their sleeve for a transfer.
Giroud getting no playing time, right?
Giroud's leaving.
Pedro not playing.
Yeah. They need to bring in a striker. Apparently Cavani rejected United, so.
Do you think it's a striker? I might argue.
Yeah, I think a striker is all they need. They make the second most chances behind Liverpool.
That's very interesting to me because I might say that they need like a creative player, right? Or I don't know.
I think they just need a finish.
I would say they might even need a defender. That's what I would say.
A center back.
Score goals.
Yeah, I would say a center back too, though.
Pretty much every big team, every big club, maybe in the world actually right now, all the big clubs could use a center back. Maybe
Yeah.
Bayern could definitely use a center back.
But it's like
City could use a center
if
back.
only
United.
If only it was as easy as that.
Right.
Because it's like buy the wrong one and you're like Man U over here.
Well, they have a creative player in Pulisic, who I still think is a good player to have on the squad. So, I mean, maybe he comes back. Loftus-Cheek is coming back, apparently.
Yep,
soon,
he was
so-
hurt. Hudson-Odoi's been looking okay, right?
Yeah, I think they just need someone up top to complement Abraham, and I think they can maybe keep that top four. I don't know. I'm just holding my breath to see like what.
I would say Chelsea falls off before Leicester.
They definitely need to make a splash.
That's what I would say.
Isn't Chelsea in the next round of the Champions League as well, too?
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Yeah.
They're playing.
They playing
too.
Bayern.
Yeah,
That'll be interesting.
I think they're just gonna lose, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think they're gonna lose as well.
Well, yeah, that's got to feel like a loss to Chelsea after going up twice.
But this is all gain for them, and there's a big gap even between those spots and like fourth. The table looks crazy right now. If you look at it, it's like big gap between first and second, and then big gap between second and fourth, and then big gap between fourth and like 6 through 8 is all tight.
Well, to your point, yeah, it's the gap between first place and second place is 16. Then 7 points between second and third. 8 points between third and fourth. 6 points between fourth and fifth. And then fifth, sixth, and seventh are all tied on 34.
Yeah.
Wolves, ladies and gentlemen, watch out. Wolves can sneak into fifth here.
With the win.
Sheffield United's on 33. So, actually, fifth, you guys are not going to believe this shit. Fifth through 14th are all within 4 points.
There you go.
5th through 14th is completely up for grabs. So, believe it or not, Arsenal down in 10th place still can kind of is in the mix for the
Well, that's
Europa.
what I will say, because for you Arsenal people out there, was this a turning point for them? Like, Arteta doesn't have any expectations though, right? So it doesn't matter. Anything that we expect out of them is just extra.
Yeah, I think it's extra.
So
He clearly just
they
doesn't-
won't get top 4. So
No.
even Europa, they won't even get
Look,
Europa.
They're starting Mustafi and David Luiz in center back right now. That'll tell you everything about the quality of their players right now.
Yeah, I think Arteta's just gonna use this half season to check out the squad, and then.
But Frankie just
it
said
out.
it. No one wants to pull away, and there's crazy amount of teams just right there in the middle, just crazy. It's gonna be interesting to see. I mean, arguably, and we're kind of bouncing all over the place because we were talking about Chelsea, right?
Chelsea and Arsenal right now because they don't look like they want to win. Maybe.
Yeah, but Arsenal's still further down the table, like 10th.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I shouldn't lump Chelsea in with that mess.
Yeah, and then Arsenal. I mean, Arteta's doing good with the team, I guess. So Pliny did your like with your boy Torreira and Xhaka.
In the midfield.
That's good. And then up top, he's just switching stuff up. This guy just scored, the prospect.
Martinelli.
Yeah, apparently he has like 10 goals or more than 10 goals in a lot of matches. 10.
Did YouTube just go down?
Damn.
I don't know. Maybe I'm making shit up. No, yeah, Martinelli scored. Again, to be fair to Chelsea, Conte had you don't even want to call it a mistake, right? Because he slipped, right? Do you call that a mistake? But yeah, Conte unfortunately slipped trying to defend the ball, and this 18-year-old Brazilian, Gabriel Martinelli, just sped down the field, and bringing 10-man Arsenal back into the match. That kid, by the way, has 10 goals in all matches played for Arsenal. 18-year-old Brazilian kid who had only played in the second division in Brazil, mind you, has 10 goals for Arsenal. Can you think of a more Arsenal story than that? That's crazy.
Yeah, I know. So it's like, but yeah, I don't expect anything out of them either. Kind of how Andres said.
Maybe Europa? Is Arsenal making Europa?
Nah.
I mean, maybe, but I'm not like.
I think we've established that Chelsea will probably finish top 4, but
I think-
does Arsenal recover?
I think at this rate, I would say Wolves or Spurs, and fifth
I'm
place.
saying Chelsea can drop out of 4th, bro. I'm saying. Because Chelsea is patchy now.
But look, they're 6 points up on 5th place. And then 5th place is United on 34, Tottenham on 34, and Wolves on 34.
Well, should we talk about United next?
Yes, absolutely. Because United, man, every time they kind of look like they've got some fight, every time they look like they're going to come back, now they're in absolute free fall. Marcus Rashford is out for what? Possibly
3 months?
3 months, 4 months. Double stress fracture in his back. Craziness.
He didn't even have to play either.
I wonder what the medical staff... I mean, apparently he had a stress fracture already when he went out and played and got another one.
Yeah, I heard something crazy like that, too.
What the hell's going on there? But
he injured it against Wolves.
their best player is out for the next 3 months. And then they lost to Liverpool over the weekend, 2-0. And then they just lost to Burnley.
Historic win for Burnley, too.
2-0 in the midweek.
At home.
Somehow, this team is still in 5th place. What needs to happen, guys? We're talking about Sir Alex Ferguson, right? Possibly the best manager of all time, right? We're talking about 13 championships, right? We're talking about
In the Premier League.
and everything since then has gone wrong, right? Like, what do they need to do to get back to prominence? Or to some sort of competition, some sort of competitive level. I think I floated, they need to get rid of Ed Woodward, right? That man is running the team well from a business perspective.
Yeah,
but
they
from
have
a
no
sporting
vision.
directive,
Well, they're about
perspective, I'm sorry.
They're about to lose business if they're not in no competitions next year.
But yeah, no signs of improvement or pattern of play.
Mm-hmm.
Bruno Fernandes, who was supposed to be signed maybe like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, still no confirmation on that.
Bro, there's just too many, problems.
Pogba's not playing.
Well, dude,
Their best player doesn't want to even play for them.
The problem now for Man U is that teams are not gonna players are gonna reassess if they want to go to Man U because there's nothing going on.
Harry Maguire was an $80 million defender and looks a shade of that.
He's definitely got. I don't think he's gonna make it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of depressing to see the state of United.
Because you heard too that because Haaland refused United too. Remember? You heard that
Erling
one?
Halland.
So are they dropping out of 5th?
I think they are. They're definitely
Spurs and Wolves have the same amount of points.
I've been going back and forth in my head too a lot with if what's the problem? Because I think the problem now is he didn't get the players that he wanted, so it's there's no quote unquote expectation for him, but there's just no style of play with Man U that you can be
they were just counterattacking.
At first, he kind of got their fitness up, but now it's just they're a terrible counterattacking team. How we've been joking around all year, but that's really what they become.
Juan Mata's come in and give him a little bit of creative spark, but what does that say that Juan Mata comes in off the bench and gives you a creative spark? Right?
Yeah,
no disrespect to him, he's been a great professional, and he's got a great career in England, but
because I can't identify something that Ole has there's some positives to Ole and his little tenure right now, but there's more negatives, I believe. You know? And so that qualifies for a sacking for me.
Maybe not positives, maybe not negatives, but nothing. A whole lot of nothing.
Well, negatives right now, he has more losses than wins as a manager.
Are you
right?
Are you guys being too critical? Or are you guys gonna give the chance to Ole another year?
Too critical? I don't know. He's been
Klopp,
in charge for a year
but
now.
Klopp didn't have those expectations, and he was playing like this, bro. They were losing games his first season, but no one put expectations on Klopp.
Not like this, I think.
And then two years later,
more fake news over here.
Well,
I'm just saying you gotta give these coaches some time. I think if he had more to work with, he could do better.
But at the same time, look at Klopp had come from somewhere. He'd won the Bundesliga twice, had made it to a Champions League final. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had gotten relegated as Cardiff manager, right? And he was coaching in his native Norway, right? That's where he's from? He's Norwegian? Am I making that up?
I don't know.
I'm sorry, I don't want to get that wrong.
I just know he was super.
But he was coaching, he was coaching Molde. And now he's coaching Man United.
Yeah.
I understand. I don't want to be rash and I don't want to disrespect the man either, but there's nothing other to prove that he was ready for this, right? Or that he should have been, other than he used to play it for United. and he used to come in and score some
So
goals for
he-
United.
He didn't even get to choose his players. They were just like, bro, all we can sign is Fred this summer. You want to get him? He's like, yeah. That was like that was their summer transfer window. Like they didn't even get anything started.
No, but then it's also his decision to let go of all these players, kind of, or not replace them.
all their forwards.
Yeah, I mean, who does that?
Who finishes fifth then, boys? Spurs? Wolves?
Spurs, Sheffield United, even.
I think
I
yeah,
don't know about
Wolves
Sheffield. Wolves.
or Tottenham.
Wolves is a promising squad. I think so too.
I think Wolves or Tottenham.
Wolves
Yeah,
or
one of
Spurs.
those two.
Mourinho gets things.
Well, Sheffield's right there. Look, we got the table in front of us. It's because Wolves been tying a lot of games. They have 10 ties. Tottenham has 7 ties.
Man,
Southampton.
United and Spurs have the exact same record right now. 9 wins, 7 draws, 8 losses.
See, so Mourinho's
When did
definitely
United win
gonna.
9 matches? That's crazy to me. Wow. Well,
I think Tottenham will definitely pass Man U. With Mourinho too, and he already bought players. You see how quick he does it? He's like, I think. Well, this is the problem. Look with Ole. Say Andres wants to give Ole time. He buys a player, and fucks it all up. And now, great. Now they have players they don't want, and they still need to get another coach.
that's what happened before, no?
That's what happens all the time.
True.
So that's what
That's how it's played.
that's what they're gonna do then
That's how
now
it's
with
done.
Ole. He's gonna let him spend more cash, and then see what happens then.
Well, we'll
so
s-
you can figure it out again next season when you have to fire him again
Well,
and do something crazy.
I'm not going to lie. I was kind of immediately after the Burnley match, I was kind of surprised he still had a job. And here we are, and he still has a
Yeah,
job. So,
2-0 loss at home to
so
Burnley.
clearly, Andres, they're going to give him time. And they've come out and backed him publicly. So we'll see. Pogba looks like he's probably out the door.
So he's gonna have to buy someone, and we're gonna see who he
Who
buys.
do they attract right now? Who can they attract right now?
Whatever money can buy. 'Cause-
Yeah, whatever money can buy. It's still, one of the richest clubs in the world. So
But they're about to lose money if they don't get no useful stuff.
Well, just to kind of quickly recap, Liverpool continues to cruise, winning everything at a crazy pace.
We haven't talked about Wolves.
What about him?
The Jimenez with the most goals involved of any player in the EPL this year, like crazy amount of work he's doing.
yeah, he has 20 goals.
Wolves
and
is up.
9 assists.
Like they're definitely like they're the exciting team to watch. And then part of the reason why Klopp had to change formations is because he wasn't facing an ordinary team. With Traore on that side, he's being crazy all game, and he had to adjust. And Wolves has got Nuno Santo, right? Espiritu Santo.
Mhm.
Yep.
He's clearly been one of the best coaches. Like, don't be surprised if they next year Wolves has no one and they took Jimenez and the coach.
Yeah, this is
You
2
know?
years now. This is
Yeah.
2 years now of Wolves playing really well. in
Yeah,
the Premier
don't
League.
don't be worried. Don't be surprised if next year Jimenez might be up for United. To be honest,
I've heard that one before.
they've bought Mexicans before, right?
Yep.
So they're like, okay.
Shout out to our boy Raul Jimenez doing work in the Premier League. And yeah, watch out for Wolves. Again, Nuno doing a great job there. They've got some great pieces. A whole like contingent of Portuguese players. And yeah, they look like they're still in the Europa League, right?
Yeah,
they're still
well,
in Europa too.
The question for them is that okay? So all right. I'm gonna really break it down for you then right now. Wolves probably does not have more depth than Tottenham, so I'm gonna put Tottenham above them. And then now
Like a
the
fade
question,
out.
yeah, do Wolves have more quality than Chelsea? They do, but I think the gap might be too large, right? Or what
Yeah.
is it?
They're 6 points right
So-
now. It's 6 points right now.
So, they're fighting then with Man U. They're better than Man U? Yes. So, we think I would put it for 5th place would be Tottenham, then Wolves, then Man U,
Mhm.
I think. Unless Chelsea and Leicester just decide to really be
fall off.
inconsistent. Yeah.
Well, we'll see. But yeah,
That would be a good prediction, I think so. Unless Sheffield really stays with it, Arsenal makes a push, they're only going to make a push into like 6th place, and that's at best.
yeah, because they're in
Right?
10th right now. Yeah.
If all goes
So,
well, yeah.
so like that's why you're like, damn, they're out of it. They're completely out of it. So that would be my best guess right now.
Elsewhere in the world, Barcelona won their first match under Quique Setien. Crazy match where they only managed a 1-0 victory, even though they completed more than 1,000 passes, had 82% possession. Messi was only able to score until like the 79th minute, right? And Granada was down a man after some dude received 2 red card or back-to-back yellows or 2 yellows, right? So what are your reactions? Is this a better looking Barca? There's a lot of possession, right? Which is very Barca-like, right? But a lot of that possession wasn't going nowhere, right? Was it due to the fact that, you know, a team like Granada, Andres? Or I mean, what did you say? A team like Granada does what against Barcelona at home?
They just parked the bus.
They just parked the bus, right? So is that a result of that, or? I mean, obviously it's his first match, so it's going to take a while to implement his ideas, right, and what he wants to do. But positives, you guys think?
Positives for sure. I mean, even without De Jong in that game, and you know they kind of played a makeshift midfield. They made like Busquets look good in possession. He was making a lot of plays, and I mean, there's a lot of positives. They played a lot of quick passes, a lot of toothless chances though, because they really only had like one shot all game. But
yeah, Messi.
It's hard to tell already. I mean, it's too early. I'd have to see maybe 5 games and then kind of figure out where they're going from there.
He's had the match now, like in the Copa too, that they just eked out against Ibiza, right? And he played pretty much a reserve squad, right, or like the B team that labored to a 2-0 win, right? When Griezmann got the brace there. So yeah, it's gonna take some time, but I think honestly for me the biggest positive was he played Ricky Puig, right? And not just that it's Ricky Puig, but I feel like Valverde for a while went away from promoting.
Yeah, giving the kids a chance.
And maybe not Valverde for a while before it too, right? Because Traore, right, the same Traore we were just talking about at Wolves was once at Barcelona. He was at the Masia project, right? And he didn't see a path to the first team, so he left. Can you imagine Traore rampaging down the sideline right now at Barcelona?
Yeah, that's a good point.
So, I mean, it's good to see that he's promoting guys from the B team, right? Because Valverde brought up Fati, right, and Perez, but I think that was, again, just down to necessity, not because, so he wanted to, or it's good to see, the youth team, the Masia, being incorporated again back. Granted, it's been 2 matches, right? But, yeah, I mean, a lot of good passing, a lot of possession.
I think for that Copa game, the positive is also that they're trying to play without Messi, so they kind of have to have a system, and it's just towards like preparing for the future as well. When Messi isn't there to occupy all the space, now you guys have to play as a team. So it's like one of the first steps into like having that team without Messi.
Yeah.
And they need a system, so that's their playing style. It's like, all right, look, we don't have Messi, we're gonna try something different, or what we have. Because you guys have to learn how to play.
Yeah. As stated before, I think Barcelona's problems are institutional, right? At a much higher level. And yeah, the lack of planning for the post-Messi era and, planning accordingly, or lack thereof, better yet. But yeah, it's a step in the positive direction.
Did you see these guys didn't walk out at the same time? They're pissed. Did you see that?
No. This is for the Supercopa?
Yeah, like they're
pissed.
No,
this was last week.
Like they're like, what the heck? We're just gonna cut then. You see that? You see how it was supposed to be?
The Madrid Sevilla.
Well, yeah, yeah. I'm glad you brought up this match, like, because Real Madrid edged out Sevilla
by themselves, like characters.
The most important thing here was that there was 2 goals from Casemiro, right? Like, Madrid's not losing, they're not giving up goals, but as Johnny has pointed out now on several occasions, they're not scoring.
Their forwards aren't scoring specifically.
Well, yeah, their forwards aren't scoring. Good catch. Yeah. Is that a big deal?
You told me, yeah.
They're tied with Barcelona, and they're not getting production out of their forwards. They can't rely on 2 goals from Casemiro every match, right? Obviously.
They can't. Yeah, it's hard. I mean,
what of Vinicius and Gareth Bale and Rodrigo and
Vinicius?
Jovic, Vinicius, yeah. What of them?
I don't know. What do you see from them, Frankie?
I don't see a whole lot. I mean, there's not a whole lot going on, right? We're starting to give Zidane a little bit more credit than we've given him, right? Me too. I said he wasn't much of a manager. He was just a man manager, or someone a Galactico whisperer, right? Someone who could talk to the stars, and just
Galactico whisperer.
right.
Like
He's done work. The defense looks tight, right?
I mean, if
playing Valverde right in the midfield has been a good move from him.
I mean, if you look at it, he promotes from within. He loves Lucas Vazquez for no reason. You haven't seen the meme where he's like, he'd play 11
Lucas Vazquez if he could.
So it's like Valverde came out of nowhere too for him now. So it's like, yeah, maybe they're not scoring, but you're like how you pointed out, they're withering the storm. So, but so is Barca. I mean, no one wants to win the league in Spain, and I keep saying that the league is garbage, but I mean, it's still Real and it's still Barca. But that's all I see this year at least. But it's weak from what I'm seeing.
It's interesting that you say that because Atletico is just not themselves. It's not looking like a Simeone team right now. They lost to Eibar. They lost to Eibar in the league over the weekend, and then they lost to a third division side in the Copa del Rey. They're out of the Copa del Rey, and man, they just don't look like a Simeone side. It looks like there's all types of disconnect, right? They're not attacking, they're not scoring.
Yeah.
It sounds like they're in the transfer market looking for a forward, right?
Yeah.
Andres was a little bit, not necessarily negative, but was talking about maybe possibly already the decline or the end of this Atletico cycle. Is it over? Is this the end of the Atletico as we know it under Simeone?
No, I think it's the lowest point, definitely, but they don't have Costa. They're looking to get Cavani. I mean, maybe getting their strike force back on.
Even when they had Costa, he hasn't scored in the long.
They're known for their strike force, so I mean, they only have like João Felix and Costa, so they definitely have to add a piece. If they get Cavani, then that'd be a huge boost for them to finish off the season. I think. If you get some goals up top, then it kind of relieves pressure on everyone else.
But are they gonna buy him right now?
I don't know. That's up to Cavani.
I thought the Atletico's offer.
And even if they do, he can't play in the Champions because he's already played with PSG.
Yeah, he's cup tied.
That's why it's always hard to get players in December.
Yeah, I think you have to give Simeone just a little bit, more time.
I think the problem is that this year he has a way more offensive roster than he's typically had. He's lost a lot of big pieces, leaders in the locker room.
Yep.
Godin.
Griezmann.
Yeah, like all the goals have... Griezmann was a lot of goals, 25 goals a season, pretty much.
Yeah.
And then Godin was leadership and defensive just nuance. And then now it's like Jimenez is okay. He does show some random lapses. And then who else do they have? I don't even know. The weird guy?
Savic.
Yeah, Savic. They got... Randomly, they have the English kid on the right. And it's
Trippier.
Trippier. I don't know. I think the roster is too offensive more than a typical Simeone team is used to. Yeah, they have flair offensive players, but usually they're like stars. Felix is...
He's young.
He's young. Yeah, exactly.
He's learning the league.
They also invested a lot in Lamar, and Lamar was a big bust for them.
Yeah, he's a flop.
But you bring up the point, will they still keep Simeone and keep going on with this? What are their expectations
for
the league?
All things considered, though, Barcelona and Madrid are at the top with 43. Atletico's tied with Sevilla on 35. So there's an 8-point gap there at the top, but third and fourth, they're neck and neck. And then Getafe's got 33, Sociedad's got 31, so does Valencia. So
it's kind of like the Premier League.
Similar to the Premier League. There's one or two at the top, and then there's a little bit of a drop off, and then it's fair game there too. Sevilla too. Sevilla just sold our boy Chicharito to the LA Galaxy.
Yep.
There's some... Sevilla's, again, a historical contender there. One of the bigger teams in Spain. But, I guess all types of change, right, and uncertainty there at the big teams in Spain. But again, they all have quality pieces, so should make for an interesting race. Definitely at the top. I mean, I couldn't give anybody an edge right now. Again, I like the Setien appointment. Hopefully that goes well. But if I were to say there's a team better positioned once again to come out on top right now, it's got to be Real, right? You guys still agree with that a week later?
I don't. I think it's a straight. For me, it's still a 50-50. Like, the table shows it, right? It's like they're on the same points, or maybe they have one more point.
Same points.
So it's
just
like
goal differential.
Yep.
Yeah, it's completely for me it's up there. For me it's completely a
50-50.
shootout. Yeah, 50-50 for me. Like, it's Barca has Messi, who's really the trump card. So Real really gonna have to play some crazy tactical
We'll see though too.
defensive stuff.
Hazard hasn't been 100%. Maybe he starts firing now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you gotta think, but he's got to get back into shape. Right? And
Yeah.
it's already freaking January. Before you know it's February. And then that's it. He's got to be fit in 2 games.
He went
Right?
he went absolutely hard with
In a
the
month,
honesty.
yeah.
Eden Hazard said that he did show up to camp, or he did show up at the start of the season overweight, but he also said, hey, when I'm on vacation, I'm on vacation.
Yeah,
And
you
you can't really hate on that. That's amazing.
Mario Kart and what? What was it that he played?
It's just Mario Kart, bro. Mario Kart and vacation. That's it.
Vacations, right?
But yeah, things are neck and neck there at the top with between the two giants in La Liga. Atleti and Sevilla, not really hanging around, 8 points back, but still at third and fourth there in the Champions League spots. So we'll see if Atletico can recover or maybe get some form back, because they've got quite a tall task ahead of them in the Champions League, where they have to play the current European champions and honestly best team in the world, Liverpool. So hopefully they can get their stuff together there. Just like everybody else though. Everybody else there needs to get their stuff together. Speaking of getting your stuff together, one young man who most certainly has his stuff together, Erling Halland,
Yep.
today came in as a sub for his second match in the Bundesliga, scored another 2 goals. So for those of you keeping track at home, this young man has played just his second match in Germany. He has 5 freaking goals. A hat trick on his debut, a brace on his second. Both substitute appearances. Now, last year when he was racking up goals in the Youth World Cup, and earlier this year when he was racking up goals for, some team from Austria in a weak Champions League group, I thought, okay, this is a little bit fluky, but I mean, even then, it takes some talent to score 6 hat tricks, right? But man, this kid is the real deal, then, huh? Dortmund, absolutely major steal there, right? What does this mean for Dortmund and the Bundesliga? Right now, Leipzig is on top with 40 points, and Bayern and Dortmund each have 36. But Dortmund, at this point, has already played 1 more match. So, do you see this as a boost for Dortmund? Can they storm back and make a difference here in the Bundesliga? Is this kid that legit? I mean, Sancho and Haaland up top? Oof.
Yeah.
With Royce?
Yeah, he's making noise. I mean, he kind of did the similar thing in Champions, where he just came out scoring goals and really no one was looking at him. But I guess now teams are, like, okay, this guy is, scoring hat tricks. And I mean, even his second goal against Own, like, that was a hard angled shot.
Oh, it was an impossible angle. That was a sick.
So I mean, that takes skill. I mean, he's clinical. So Dortmund probably have a lot of creators in the midfield. So they feed him, stays hot. Yeah, they're gonna see a lot of goals.
Yeah, they're prone to stupid defensive mistakes. I think if they tighten up on that, they'll make it interesting, right? But you guys were both speaking how you guys like Bayern better, right? Now Bayern's got some dude named Hansi Flick coaching them. Yeah. They've got a gang of injuries too. They're signing guys in defense. They just signed the right back from Real Madrid on loan, Odriozola, right?
I was saying I like Bayern better as a team in general. Like, if
As
I
an
like Dortmund or Bayern.
As an establishment,
Yeah.
as a record label,
Yeah,
as a crew.
exactly. Because, yeah. So don't get it twisted. Because this definitely gives Dortmund now a push and an edge in the race. And now it's a boost for the second half of the season, and they're not that far off. I mean, Bayern has not been consistent. And again, don't take my word, because I have not seen that any Bundesliga action, like, that I've tuned in to see. But Halland, is that I brought up, I'm like, he looks like a phenom. So normal players don't do that. Get a hat trick and then
A brace.
yeah, that's like not. They got one on them, how Frankie said. So that's a steal for them. So I gotta think he's gonna play a good part in them moving forward, like right away.
Yeah.
He's adapted in no time whatsoever.
Unfortunately, he's played for another team in the Champions League already this season, so he won't be able to help Dortmund in the Champions League.
Damn, you're right there.
But that should be a good push because right now Leipzig again is on 40 points. Do you guys give Leipzig a chance to finish out the second half of the season and win a championship there?
Timo Werner, if he stays,
Firing. Yeah.
they're kind of all similar. If Lewandowski stays,
They're a high-scoring
if
team. I think they're the
Werner's-
highest-scoring team in the Bundesliga.
Yeah, I mean, if Lewandowski goes down again for a while, I mean, that could be Bayern's, chance to win the league.
Random fact: Leipzig now has like at least I think 7 games where they've scored at least 3 goals in 7 consecutive games.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Again, there's a lot of reasons why people don't and shouldn't like RB Leipzig, right, as an establishment, but they're playing some impressive football right now, scoring a lot of goals, and shaking up the league, that's for sure. Making things entertaining there in Germany, in Deutschland.
I mean, but even with the Champions League games, maybe they have a little harder time, with the competitive fixtures. And that's where Bayern's experience, winning titles for, 8 years. That's what that will come in.
Yeah, in a consecutive order, right?
Yeah, they haven't lost in 8 years.
Since the Pep days, or before the Pep days, right? But yeah, the Bundesliga looks like we've got a race there too. Looks like it's a race pretty much everywhere in Europe or in the big European leagues except for England. Well, the next one we can debate a little bit more, but moving on from the Bundesliga where things are heating up, Serie A, Juventus is now up by 4 points. Over the weekend, they beat, they won 2-1. Over the weekend, they beat Parma, 2 Cristiano Ronaldo goals. Cristiano is on an absolute tear right now. Scored in like the last 7 Serie A matches.
The boy's still doing it.
Yeah, absolute tear from Cristiano Ronaldo. Astronomical goal scoring numbers right now. Clearly, he's in form and healthy, right? He did say he tweaked his knee earlier in the season, and since December he's been unstoppable in the box. Juventus looks like they're starting to get a little bit of separation in their quest for now a 9th straight title. So again, no disrespect to Cristiano Ronaldo, but when he says it's to go to Italy and go to Juventus for a challenge, he went to a team that had won 7 in a row and is now on track to win their 9th.
You mean 8 in a row?
They had won 7 before he got there.
Well,
Won
you
the
said
8th,
9th,
and now they're about to win their 9th. Andres is probably the biggest Inter fan on the show, and in the face of Cristiano's terror and the fact that Inter continues to drop points, they tied at Lecce this last weekend. You still give him a chance? Is it too soon to call it quits on Inter's title challenge?
There's a race, bro. There's a race.
They just signed Victor Moses, Ashley Young.
Yeah, they're tightening up the defense. I think for context, it's just going to be important just to, limit the damage on some of these losses. They have Europa games too, but they have a really good strike force, and I feel they'll really push you, but they haven't been pushed in a while, so we'll see how they respond.
Yeah, and they're buying players, how you said. So
they just got
they're
Victor
ready to
Moses,
roll.
Ashley Young, so might get Eriksson in the next couple of days. That could really give them a new look.
Olivier Giroud, they're saying too.
Yeah,
Damn,
there's a lot
3
of names
players
being
in
thrown around.
one off season.
Yeah,
They're gonna really give Conte, no reason to feel like he doesn't get what he wants.
Yeah,
so,
he's getting some depth pieces there, right?
yeah.
So yeah,
Tightening up. Juventus, they look hot too, so haven't lost.
as my boy Jamie pointed out, Juventus and the league is irrelevant because this team is built for the champions, right? So do you kind of get that sentiment that some people say that even with the 4-point lead, even though the first place, Juve hasn't looked like they're fully clicking yet, right? Would you agree? Are they holding out for the Champions League? Is that what matters?
I mean, I don't think they're holding out. They're just not playing well. Because you don't hold out to be like... You don't play shitty to be like... Or like... I don't want to say shitty, but you don't play like this and be like, we're going to hold out to play good in the Champions League later. But without showing some type of... I don't know how we said... Not form, but they just haven't looked like...
Convincing, you know?
Yeah.
Or like Sarri was brought in to do, right? Sarri was brought in to implement exciting attacking football. We haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, we haven't.
Dybala and Ronaldo seem to be establishing a pretty good connection, though, and that's promising.
And they're superstars.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I think their last game, they played a really like technical midfield with who did they have? They had who did they have in that midfield? Rabiot, Bentancur, and Panjic.
Yeah, Pjanic, yeah.
Pjanic. So, I mean, I feel like even those players can feed Ronaldo on a consistent basis, or you can give it to Dybala for Higuain. Higuain has also been playing a really good season, so you have to give him credit.
Weapons.
Yeah, they have a lot of weapons. Costa, when he's healthy, he can take on 5 players.
Yeah, when he's healthy and not spitting on people.
But yeah, like Johnny said, they're probably built more for champions than the league. So.
Well, yeah, we'll see there because Lazio's still in 3rd place. Again, I it's not that I don't want to talk about them to rule them out and be disrespectful, but we're talking about a league where Juventus has won the last 8 titles. So Lazio's on 45 points, so they're 6 points back at Juve. Realistically, still within shot, right? Inter Milan's on 47, so 4 points back.
I mean, yeah, I think you can even say that Inter might prioritize the title push than a Europa League title, or
Yeah.
You can argue that. So you definitely know that they're gonna take it down to the brink for the league. So I think that's gonna hurt Juventus in the long run, going in for the champs. Because if Inter's on their ass all day without really caring if they win Europa or not, because they're gonna make Champions League if they finish in 2nd place. You get me?
Yeah.
It's not really they don't got anything to lose. And now they're getting mad players. And Sanchez still hasn't really featured. Lukaku's been scoring goals. Martinez has been lighting it up. I mean, the mid is strong. The defense is reinforced. They got Godin, right? They got a good squad. Conte's always been able to show that he can compete,
Yeah.
He won the title in England with Chelsea, and he doesn't care. He's cool. He's a good coach, man.
Don't look now, but AC Milan is crawling their way back up. They're currently in 6th place.
Yeah, they haven't lost since they got Zlatan.
They haven't lost since they got Zlatan, and a team not too long ago they were down in the depths there in Serie A. And speaking down in the depths, Napoli, the last team that possibly pushed Juve, right, or contended. They're down in 11th place. Rino Gattuso, the coach right now. And things just not looking good at Napoli right now.
They play Juve next.
They play Juve this weekend. So they just came off of beating Lazio in the Coppa Italia, and they needed that. That was like a big moral win, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we'll see. Another one of those teams, right? Napoli finding themselves in a Arsenal type situation, right down in the middle of the table.
Yeah, I didn't realize they dropped that far.
Yeah.
And their big signing Lozano really hasn't.
Dude, ever since.
But they've had really like management problems from the top with.
Yep. Ever since De Laurentiis started getting into it with Ancelotti and the players, it's just been downhill from there, man.
Yeah.
And again, it's depressing because they have a nice little team. They've got some really good pieces there.
Mm-hmm.
They've got Fabian Ruiz, the Spanish, youth international, right? They've got, or now full international, right? He's played for Spain at full level now, right?
They were saying Ancelotti might bring back
Insigne, my
Lozano,
boy.
Yeah. To Everton. That could be a good move for him. I mean, what do you have really going for yourself for Napoli, You could have a coach in Everton with Ancelotti who believes in you. I mean, that could be a good move for him.
Yeah.
But they're definitely, on
Fresh
downward trend.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
And then that pretty much kind of wraps up the the roundup of all the big leagues for this week. Is there anything else you guys want to add on Serie A or Bundesliga, any of the big leagues, before we talk transfers for a little bit?
Nah,
I don't think
just
so.
that we're gonna win the league. Liverpool. It's crazy.
Liga MX last week, we made a couple picks. We'll talk about the picks in a little bit. But, I mean, too soon to tell. And again, not that I want to neglect the league. It's entertaining, but sometimes it's too entertaining. You don't want to talk too much about trends and what's going on early in La Liga MX because things start getting crazy, right? Like right now, there's a couple teams at the top after 2 matches with 4 points. Chivas being one of them after they just armed an entire new team. And my team, of course, Cruz Azul, 0-2 after 2 weeks, down in 18th place, right? So we'll see. Too soon to tell. And already teams getting off to kind of, it looks like up and down starts, right? The first place teams either have a win and a draw. So we'll keep you posted as that the tournament in Mexico progresses. It's sure to be entertaining. And then, of course, transfers. We just briefly touched upon it a little bit. The January transfer window ends on later this week. So we're going to start to see maybe some panic buys, some depth buys where teams are looking for some pieces to help them push for the title, or even more importantly, to stay in the first division, right? There's a lot of teams avoiding the drop, avoiding relegation. So already one of the big movers, Inter, right? Inter's picked up a couple pieces. Today they picked up Victor Moses, who we don't rate necessarily, but he's fast and he's played for Conte before.
I've liked him when you see him play.
Right. Sorry, I didn't mean to speak for you.
No, you don't.
But he knows Conte's system, right? And he could help them at the wingback position there at Inter, right? Inter, again, has already picked up Ashley Young, who plays a similar position, right? Another probable wingback there. It looks like they might get Christian Eriksen from Tottenham Hotspur there, right? Another big question. Manchester United has been claiming to have had the deal for Bruno Fernandes ready, right? But apparently Sporting Lisbon, shout out to the boy Ryan, another frequent watcher of our program here, who says they're asking for like 68 million, right? And to be fair, I've never really, I'm sure this Bruno Fernandes kid is good, but is he 68 million good? United's coming off, but maybe they're hesitant because they just paid 80 million for Maguire. Do they want to pick 68 million for an attacking midfielder who's only played in Portugal?
At this point, they can't start acting like they've ever done any good buys in general, where they're gonna be like, the fee has justified the product, or what you get.
Right.
Teams know it's United, and they just know they gotta pay whatever. I don't know. That's what they need. So now all this talk about getting them. Now if they don't get them, it looks bad on them even.
Yeah, I feel like players don't want to go there, or really unsettles the club.
Yeah, they're not attractive, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, look, Zlatan going to Milan, and I'm not saying he's making a huge impact, right? But that can't be coincidental, right? The other big name that has been flouted recently, Cavani, right? Cavani says he wants out of PSG.
He scored today.
We're hearing before Atletico has already had an offer rejected, right? So Cavani could possibly go to Atletico. We hear Chelsea. I heard Chelsea might be in the market for Cavani, right? They need a striker.
Man U. Yeah.
United needs a striker, right? Now that Rashford is out, my goodness, right? Barcelona could use a striker.
Yep. Suarez is out.
Suarez is out for the similar amount of time as Rashford.
And
right?
All these teams are unsettled, and everyone's going into the Champions like this.
Yeah, so look out for some crazy loan moves too, guys. Speaking of crazy loan moves, shout out to my boy Fernando. Did you guys know that at some point Chuy Corona played for Chivas?
Which one?
Chuy Corona played for Chivas in Libertadores?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. There's these loan deals sometimes are crazy as hell, right? Apparently he played like a couple games loan on Chivas in Libertadores.
Bro, so many players would do that all the time.
Enlighten us. Do you know another big one?
For Chivas?
No,
Peralta, I think.
Cardoso played for Cruz Azul on loan.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that either.
It's weird because it's a different tournament, and apparently you can reinforce since Mexico only gets so many players for that competition, you know?
Yeah.
That was back in the day.
Yeah, because we don't play in Libertadores anymore, but
Yeah.
that's crazy.
I think even dude, it was more frequent than you think.
There's crazy loan moves because the one I had in that made me think of that is Liverpool, right? In this run in the congested period, they had they called this kid back from that they sent on loan to Stuttgart, Nathaniel Phillips. Came back, played one match, and then they sent him right back to Stuttgart, right? So they canceled his
did?
loan for one match and then sent him back. So
I didn't know that, yeah.
be on the lookout for crazy stuff like that. There's always kinds of weird stuff happening, right? I've heard of players signing it for a team over the summer and then right away, like weeks later, signing for another team, right? They're like, nope, this isn't going to work out, right? Or they find a better, more attractive deal elsewhere or something, right? But I wouldn't be surprised if there's a minor splash, right? There's some teams with need. Probably won't get anything like huge, right? I would say the biggest recent January acquisition was Van Dijk, right? 2 years ago when Liverpool signed him, because that was momentous. That possibly started, right, the movement that we see today, right, with 40 games unbeaten in the Premier League. But
Yeah, they started racking up clean sheets and never looked back.
But yeah, no, we'll be on the lookout for those. We'll try to keep you guys posted on those.
You haven't talked about your favorite transfer to your home country league,
Which is?
to the United States of America. The MLS.
Oh, that's right. We touched about it last week. I think
we
I
did?
a little bit, but yeah.
Still counting.
Chicharito was officially presented by the LA Galaxy this year, and you better believe the Galaxy is going to be selling out those seats for every single match, and
Yeah.
I think he's going to do really well, guys. I mean,
hope so. We'll see.
he can be a better
The top
acquisition
scorer was
than
Vela.
Zlatan.
Well, it's gonna start making the MLS exciting, bro. Cause we're gonna be like, damn, we're gonna go see Chicharito play tonight at the Soldier Field
Yeah.
against Fire.
Well, for people-
and
yeah.
he's gonna score on us, or everyone's gonna come out. It's gonna be like a Mexico game, but it's MLS. So, and then like, there's other stars that are coming. You know,
Chichadios, and then with the interesting tidbits,
Pulido,
right?
yeah.
Oh, Pulido, right? Pulido. There's guys from the Mexican League are hopping over here
Vela.
Well, it's also good for the league because there's a lot of Latino
Vela.
soccer fans, and he's gonna attract all of them just because he's the biggest Mexican soccer.
You didn't like the jersey though,
Star.
Frankie.
too. Nah, I don't like the Galaxy jersey.
It was comfy.
The new Adidas jerseys that the MLS teams are wearing with like the two stripes off the shoulder. I'm not feeling that shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's just important for them to get interest from all types of people here. So
Oh, absolutely. I'm still massively disappointed that the Fire didn't try harder to get Chicharito. Can you imagine Chicharito here at Soldier Field? Oh my God.
if you look at LAFC, a lot of their fan base is really young people, So
Yeah, no,
I
they-
think that's important for the league to grab at the biggest star you can. And
Dude, in the 2
Market
years
them.
the 2 years that they've been there, LAFC's people are saying they're bigger than the Galaxy now in LA, and that's saying a lot because the Galaxy's probably the MLS's most historic franchise, right?
Because Will Ferrell and
Well,
yeah, Will Ferrell.
yeah, for a part of the ownership group, Magic Johnson too.
well, over there they got a whole party now with Vela and Chicharito on Los Angeles for no goddamn reason. Both of them in LA, right? How does
Yeah.
Los Angeles have two teams? Not
Same.
even like a different city. They're like no same.
New York has two teams too, but
They're not.
that's neither
you know,
here nor
like,
there.
yeah.
But yeah, Chicharito's in MLS. He's saying it's not for retirement, or he said something like it's the start of my retirement, and it threw a lot of people off. Saying a lot of shit, right? He's clearly feeling some type of way because he said that he's coming back a legend regardless of what people say. Right? How do you feel about that?
I didn't hear that.
Keeps
Yeah.
him relevant as
I didn't
well,
hear-
all the way to the World Cup.
Yeah, he said, I'm coming back a legend, whether people in Mexico and people here think about it, like it or not.
Yeah.
He's feeling real.
He was on Real Madrid.
Real confident.
Risky.
He hit the top level.
I think
for
part of
Real
that is the
Madrid.
disappointment of his European adventure coming to an end, you know?
Yeah, it's just more nostalgic move.
But for the last couple of years, he's been doing and saying real crazy stuff, right? Painting his hair orange, and
Yeah.
we'll see. At least we get to watch him ball out in MLS now.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll close out today's show, guys, as we usually do with our picks. Now, there's a little bit more on the line with these picks now because we're keeping score, and eventually we're gonna develop some sort of bet or something to see, or some pool or something to see what this comes out of. But last week, in our initial keeping track of these Andres and I tied on picks. We made 6 picks. I called 4. Andres called 4. Johnny called 2. So we had a tie there. So yeah, that's 4-4-2 right now. I'm gonna keep you. That's the score right now, and we'll kind of rack them up and see later on as we go. So for this week, we're gonna start. Got some intriguing matchups. There's no Premier League matchups this weekend because they just had 2 in 1 week, and they're squeezing in the FA Cup ties this weekend. So we're gonna pick 1 FA Cup ties, 1 from Spain, 1 from Germany, 2 from Italy, and 1 from France because we don't give the French league enough love sometimes, but that's their fault. So yeah, first pick, we're going Valencia, Barcelona, and probably the biggest match in Spain this weekend. Who you got, Johnny?
Barca. Spanish league is garbage. Last week I tried to go for Sevilla. They're garbage.
Andres, who you
Quality
got?
wasn't there.
You got Barca?
Let me guess. You're gonna pick Valencia?
No.
Of course not, because it's
No.
garbage. The league is garbage. This is never going against this anymore.
No, I just think the trump card is Messi. You know, Messi rested.
You can't name me. I bet you none of you can name me more than 2 players on Valencia.
I can name you almost their whole starting lineup, bro.
Then how about Andres?
Rodrigo.
Yeah,
is like
you
really-
name me their starting lineup then. Who's their forwards?
Dude, they play
Valencia's forwards. Let me see Valencia's
They
forwards.
played Rodrigo up top. They've got
whole squad. I'm
Carlos Soler in the midfield.
That's 2 players so far. There's 11.
Okay,
You're saying
They've
granted,
got
crazy stuff.
they've
the
got
gap in
Gaya
qua-
playing
yeah,
left
bro,
back.
It's the gap in quality. I mean, those teams aren't gonna match up. So Barcelona, even on a bad Barcelona day, they're still gonna win.
You're missing a lot of them.
So you're picking Barcelona.
I'm picking
Too
Barcelona.
high.
It's gonna be hard though because they traditionally tie at La Mestalla. So
You
They
got
haven't-
Barcelona.
I mean it's definitely gonna be a hard fought win, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna edge them out. They're gonna look a little more promising with De Jong in the midfield.
All right, this is your third
De
match.
Jong, Busquets, and Vidal. I mean, if I see that midfield, then I'm gonna call a win. You know.
This is the third matchup with Setien. Over the week, he decided to rest Piqué, Busquets, and Messi. I say a rested Messi makes the difference. I almost didn't want to make this pick because we'd have all made the same pick for this one. I almost kind of wanted to go against the grain, but I'm going to go with my gut, Barcelona as well.
Hence, the Spanish league is garbage.
The Spanish
Frankie
league
concluded
is
for us.
not as garbage as
Frankie
the French
Frankie
league.
could not pick the Valencia to disagree with us.
The French league.
That's
is
why
Because
garbage.
logic, that's the
That's
logic.
why
The
that's why I
Italian
picked
league
first
is
this
not
season.
good. Spain is good.
All right, what's the next?
Bundesliga, better good.
I don't know what
League,
that means.
Most good. The next one in the Bundesliga, Bayern Munich versus Schalke. 10 years ago, this was a thrilling matchup.
10 years ago.
Yeah. Who you got? Bayern? Johnny? You got Bayern?
How come I always pick first? What's going
I
on
know.
with this?
I got a
What's
tie.
going on with this?
I got a tie.
You got
These
the draw.
mind games.
Jess
Yeah.
has the draw. All right.
Bayern. See, now I can pick because
Lewandowski scores again or what?
I guess. I don't even know Schalke really.
You know
I
what?
can't name you more than one player on
I
Schalke
could
right
probably
now.
name you maybe like 3. But on Schalke's like in 5th place right now, man. They're
I was-
lingering up there too. So I'm gonna go with Andres on this one. I'm gonna call the draw too. And maybe I'm a little bit biased and want to see Dortmund go up a little bit and challenge Leipzig. But
Guys are letting me catch up in picks. That's what I'm saying.
we'll see about that. Now, Southampton Spurs in the FA Cup, and probably the most thrilling FA Cup tie, which is not saying a whole lot.
I got Southampton.
You got Southampton. There you go. Now you're
Dude.
picking. Now you're staying true to form.
Yeah, no, I think Danny Ings, you know. Danny Ings minus, you know, all the forwards that are missing from Tottenham. I think that just might be their undoing. So they're going to keep up a trend. They need a forward. They're playing Lucas.
Johnny?
Tottenham.
Me too. I got Spurs.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I
still
guess we
think-
kind of said the matches were hard to pick this week. Besides Italy, where it's gonna get toasty right now.
Sonaldo. I got Sonaldo
They got Lo Celso and Lamela. You think that's gonna be enough to?
over
I just
Southampton.
think they're a better team, I guess.
I
yeah.
think Mourinho really wants to win a trophy,
Mm.
and the FA Cup is their best opportunity to win a trophy this year. So go all out in that. And we're going to see a classic Mourinho performance where they stay compact, try to stay organized, and then hit him on the break. Because if there's one thing Spurs has right now up top, even if they don't have an out-and-out goal scorer, they have nothing but speed. Mora, they started Lucas, Son, right? And they just pure speed up top right now. Man, we'll throw the French League a bone. This week, PSG plays Lille. At one point, not too long ago, Lille was contending for the title in the French
what
League.
place is Leo in? Because I have no
They
idea.
are, I believe, in like 5th right now. But Lille is the same team that produced stars like Hazard, that produced stars like currently
I'm going to go
Nicolas Pepe.
PSG.
I'm gonna go draw.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah,
Lille.
they lost Matuidi, so now they don't have a lot of midfield depth there.
Those of you who don't know us or know
Or
Andres,
not Matuidi. Marquinhos.
Andres
They lost
years
Marquinhos.
ago called Renato Sanchez to be a breakout star. Renato Sanchez flopped at Bayern Munich, and now he's at Lille.
Oh,
so
he's
that's
at Leo? Wow.
So that's why Andres is calling the draw.
Yeah, I think so too. Wow.
I rate Renato. He made some bad choices. He went with bad managers.
Nah.
Lost confidence, but I mean,
Former European golden boy Renato
yeah,
Sanchez.
he's a golden boy. I don't think that was a fluke. Just give him some confidence. I mean, no, but more than anything else, it's PSG losing Marquinhos in the midfield. Now they gotta play just.
Marquinhos is out?
Yeah.
Didn't know that. Well,
Yeah,
I
he's
still
out.
got PSG.
Okay. Well, I think their midfield they're gonna probably struggle a little bit.
Mbappe's going to score, not with his hand.
Neymar,
I mean,
Neymar.
they've lost some random games this year, PSG, but
quality beats.
hopefully they'll pull through.
All right, and then we switch gears to finish up our last two picks in Italy. Juventus, the 8-time reigning champions, take on Napoli, who's spiraling out of control right now. Who you guys got?
Who's where in that one?
This is actually a really good one because,
Sorry goes back to Napoli.
yeah, Sarri goes back to Napoli. You've got the whole regional, dispute in Italy, right? The Northerners versus the South. That's a big deal.
Why can't go against my boy Ronaldo? So
Yeah, I got Juve as well.
because just Napoli 7th place, 8th. I don't think Juve will drop points to them unless they turn it around with my boy Gattuso, right? Who's their manager? Right?
Yeah.
Gattuso, yeah.
He's a beast. I love him. I want to go tie now, but
This game is in
Gonna-
Napoli, by
gonna
the way.
go
This-
with-
This
I
game
know.
is in Naples.
You're gonna go against Ronaldo?
nah,
Ronaldo
gonna have
for
to
how
stay
form?
Juve. No, never.
You, Andres?
Nah, yeah, I think whatever we're saying for Ronaldo
It continues?
continues. No stopping him. It'll be a close game, but I think Sarri kind of saw what he liked in that last game. If he uses something similar, then Ronaldo's just gonna end it.
I concur. And then finally, big matchup in Italy too this weekend. The Rome Derby. Who you guys got, Roma or Lazio?
That's for the league.
Yep, it's for the league. And it's the two teams from the capital.
I'll call a tie. Just
Draw?
yeah, I mean I like Roma.
I'm gonna call a win Lazio.
Man. This is a tough one for me because it's a derby, so it can go either way, honestly. But this is a good matchup. Roma's in 4th place. Man.
You have to think Lazio bounced back from a disappointing win.
They lost to Napoli in the Copa.
I mean,
Fuck, man. I don't know. I'm going to go
Tricky
draw,
one.
too.
You think they match each other on quality, or
I mean you
what
can
is
go
it?
Roma. The Italian league
I
is
think
crazy.
Lazio's a better team, but I think Roma, I mean, it's a big game for them, you know? It's a big
Where
match.
is it at?
I mean, they both share the Olimpico.
Oh,
So-
then, but it still matters a little bit. But I guess not as much.
I mean, yeah, it's a derby. Could go
Yeah.
50-50.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad to go for Roma. That's the game of the week, probably. That one or the Juve Napoli, but
No love for Barcelona, but Valencia.
Come on, bro.
But yeah, those
Get
are our
outta here,
picks,
man.
y'all, for this weekend. We'll let you know how we did next week, and also keep you up to date on the score. But yeah, that's all we got for you in this week. Once again, it was heavy on the Premier League because there was 2 matches. So just to kind of give you a break, let you catch up. I guess let Liverpool take a break as well. There's FA Cup action this weekend. Definitely watch some Italian league this weekend. If you don't have ESPN Plus, get it. It's on ESPN Plus. They got all the matches, and definitely Juve Napoli or the Rome Derby are worth watching. So, speaking of worth watching, thank you for watching us.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Thanks for liking. Please comment. Please share. Please tell people who also like football, who you think would like the show. We would very, very much appreciate that. It's all love. Thank you to my boys, my friends, my co-hosts here, Johnny and Andres, my boy Rafa behind the boards. All love. Thank you guys again. Watch football this weekend. We will see you all next week.
Yep.
Yep.
Joe sounds like he's in the West Loop. There's no fucking parking.